Bormio is buzzing as the sprint race gets underway for the fifth leg of the ISMF World Cup 2025. But that is not all we are here for this weekend, though, because for the first time in ski mountaineering history, this is an Olympics test event. Because for the first time, as I say, in exactly 1 year, Milano Cortina 2026 will be upon us, and SkiMo will be written into Olympic lore. The format has been a little different today in terms of the racing, but we'll get to that shortly. I'm Katie Friend, and I'll be joined today by Mireia Miro. She will be with me very shortly. We are in Bormio, as I said, in the Upper Valtellina Valley in Lombardy, very north, very close to the Swiss border. And it is most known for being a regular stop on the Alpine Ski World Cup circuit. But as you can see today, the Stelvio Slope is a beautiful, well put together sprint race. And that is where we are on the Stelvio Slope. Normally you would see here the end of the men's downhill. And but it is also famous in this area for very, very, very good cycling. Stelvio, Gavia, and the short but brutal Mortirolo. But look at this fabulous looking course. This is not the first time the ISMF has been in Bormio. They were here last year for the Youth World Cup in 2024, but this is the first time for a Senior World Cup. You can hear probably that it is all guns a-blazing down there at the start. 362 days to go until the start of the Winter Olympics Milano Cortina. It has been quite cold this morning, was about -2, has warmed up slightly. But the conditions are really great, not too sunny, not too hot, not too cold. Perfect Goldilocks sprint weather. And we will be having a look at this course in detail in just a second. I can tell you though that it is 70 meters in vertical, 50 meters on skins, followed by 10 meters on foot on those beautiful looking steps we just saw, followed by another 10 meters back on skins. The height of the start is 1,215 meters, so not hugely high, and goes up to 1,285. And the length of the course is about 610 meters, which means it's probably pretty steep, or in parts it is. We can see here they're getting ready to race. These are the tents where they have been warming up. A little bit of a different format today. Normally we would have seen everybody qualify and everybody goes on to do the same races. Those that qualify go on to do the heats. It has been a slightly different setup today. Everybody qualified at 9 o'clock this morning. Between 9 and 10, and then those who qualified from places 19 to 36 got their own set of heats, semi-finals and finals. That was then followed by the heats for those who qualified number 1 to 18, and then we've had the heats, and now we will be seeing the semi-finals and the finals. That is what happened today. But as I say, a beautiful looking course where this is what normally happens. If you are not familiar with the sprint, this is usually what happens. All athletes face a qualifying round. The 30 best make it to 5 heats, 6 athletes in each heat. Everyone completes 2 sets of diamonds where they can choose their route. And then a foot part is mandatory, followed by another section, skins, and it's the downhill. The first 2 athletes from each heat and 2 lucky losers from across all heats will go to the semi-finals. There are 2 semi-finals and 2 athletes in each semi, and 2 lucky losers make it to the final. Winner is the fastest athlete around the course. So that is what normally happens. What we're going to see here this morning or this afternoon is that we are going straight to semi-finals. We're bringing the semi-finals for the women, 2 of those, 12 athletes in total, followed by the men's semi-finals and then a final for each. I'm going to bring Mireia in here, Mireia Miro, two-time world champion and member of the Spanish team from 2006 to 2018. Mireia, hello.
Hello. Hi, how are you doing?
I'm fine. Lots of
Perfect.
information there for everybody to take in. A little bit different today here in Bormio, but very, very exciting as a test event.
Yeah, it's the first test event, and I think that it will be very exciting to follow and to watch. Already, they had all the heats this morning, and there was a lot of action happening this morning, and we'll have a lot of action happening now with the semifinals and the finals.
Indeed, and here is this beautiful course. Now, you've had some intel from out there. How is it looking? How are the conditions?
The conditions are looking really great. It's a bit warm, but the slope is in really great conditions. We see that there's a snow. The snow they did a really good job building this sprint. So the conditions are looking really great for the athletes.
Now, what we've learned, or what I have learned, is that this is now known as the field of play. That is our Olympic jargon to learn for the day, the field of play. And here we have the sprint rankings at the moment. Emily Harrop, who we will see is the only French woman to have made it into the semi-finals. But these are the top 10 women in the rankings at the moment. Some of those we are not going to see racing, Mireia. Some surprises.
Yes, we had a lot of surprises this morning. As you say, we are missing many of the top ranked sprint athletes, but this also shows us how competitive this discipline is.
Indeed. And here we are at the top 10 men, and I would say most of those that we see there, we're going to find out later on, but a little less surprising amongst the men. There's a wild dominance of a couple of nations, which we will also come to, but most of these men in the top 10 we are about to see racing, and less surprising in the men's category.
Exactly, the men we've seen during all the season, it has been less surprising, but in women we are having a lot of movement in these first places.
As you say, it just goes to show the quality that there are so many really, really fantastic female athletes out there ready to take places any opportunity they can. And here we have the start list for the first semi-final. Emily Harrop, Caroline Ulrich, Alba Di Silvestro, Tove Alexanderson, Ida Waldal and Katia Mascherona. And there they are on the start line. Now, when you look at the stats on these athletes here, we've got the number one in the sprint ranking, Emily Harrop, and then nobody else is in the top 15. Caroline Ulrich is 15, but that doesn't mean that these are not tremendous athletes. It just means it's been maybe a different start to their season.
Yes, exactly. The season has been very long, and some athletes, we are seeing them starting just right now as Tove, as Alba. They have had a difficult start of the season, but they are here also to fight to get a place in the podium or in the ranking of the sprint.
Exactly. So as we said, we have Emily Harrop, world number one, sprint number one, multi-time winner of the overall World Cup and the sprint. Alongside her, Caroline Ulrich, who was the winner of the relay in Boitaul and second in the sprint in Boitaul at the beginning of this month. Katia Mascherona from Italy has only had 2 sprint races this season and has had a 10th and a 17th. Ida Waldal, the youngster, only 20, there she is, from Norway. Really fantastic to see quite a couple of youngsters qualify into the top 18. Alba Di Silvestro, who has not competed since Courchevel at the end of last year. She has been unwell, but great to see her and qualified into the semi-finals. Caroline Ulrich, we mentioned already. Emily Harrop, Tove Alexanderson in yellow, Katia Mascherona. Tove Alexanderson, many times orienteering and ski orienteering world champion, and made the switch over to ski mountaineering.
Thank you, Matt. Set.
And they are off. This is the first of the semi-finals for the women here at Bormio, the first ever SkiMo test event, but it is also ISMF World Cup number 5.
What a fast start for these ladies. The start has been really fast, and we see that they are keeping a very high pace right now.
Indeed, we saw some fast times in the qualifying and in the heats, and it looks like Caroline Ulrich has taken the lead there, going right. I think Emily Harrop off to the left. It is Switzerland with Caroline Ulrich, who's on cracking form. She didn't have many races at the beginning of this season because she was busy sitting exams at university, so juggling both to a very high standard.
What an incredible start for Ulrich in front of Emily Harrop, that it's first in the sprint ranking. She has won, I think, that all sprint races this year. So this puts us in perspective of how Caroline Ulrich has started this sprint race. Super strong and very, very strong.
Yeah, she finished second behind Emily Harrop in Boitaoul at the beginning of February. And behind them, in the yellow uniform, we can see Tove Alexander, son, and she is just in behind Alba Di Silvestro, beg your pardon. Well, this is very, very exciting. The young Caroline Ulrich with many, many junior palmarès under her belt, and the very, very experienced senior athlete, Emily Harrop of France.
Yes, they are both doing a super great sprint, very fast, very solid, with very clean transitions and very fast transitions. So they are both doing really, really, really amazing.
Emily Harrop just taking the lead there, but it is absolutely not won yet. A little slower there on transition for Caroline Ulrich.
Yeah, one pole during the transition, one pole was pushed in the back, so it will take a little bit for Caroline Ulrich to start the downhill.
But she just has to stay in behind in order to get into the final. And Emily Harrop of France, what a fast round there that was. 3 minutes and 5 seconds. And Emily Harrop takes the first of the semi-finals. Caroline Ulrich and Alba Di Silvestro in second and third. Fantastic for those two athletes, neither of whom have had raced all the races this season.
Wow, that was very close between Caroline Ulrich and Alba Di Silvestro. It's kind of a photo finish here. Incredible. I don't imagine the downhill between both of them, because they are really, both of them, really great skiers in the downhill.
Allora abbiamo la prima piazza di Emily Harrop in 3.05, la seconda piazza di Caroline Ulrich in 3.15.
So that is the end of the first of the semi-finals for the women. We will have the second one coming up very shortly. Now, Mireia, because we've had this different format today, these women, they started at 10, they qualified at 9 o'clock this morning. Then they had their heats about lunchtime, and now they are here. Talk to me briefly about how you manage your day.
I think you manage your day as different, each round as a different race. So I think that after the heats, the qualifying rounds, they go back to the hotel, rest, and then warm up again for the semi-finals and all that.
And we saw a very clear view there of how Emily Harrop's skins actually flipped. I think it was Caroline Ulrich's pole out of her reach there. Entirely unintentional, I should imagine, but not a bad advantage to have gained for herself. Anyway, the top three there in this first semi-final: Emily Harrop, Caroline Ulrich and Alba Di Silvestro. And great to see the young Ida Valdal there coming in fourth as well. Only just 20 and in her first season as a senior. In fact, I think this might even be her first race or her first World Cup as a senior.
Wow, he did already great results in U18 and U20, but you never know if a youth that is doing good results in youth categories will also be able to do good results in senior categories. So it's always great to see this super youth we have now, 1920, already fighting on sprint semifinals, sprint finals. It's really refreshing to see.
Indeed. And here we have the second of the women's semi-finals warming up. Now, this one, I think, I mean, that was a very close race, but if you look at the rankings, we have 2nd, 5th, 6th, 7th, 10th, and 12th in the World Cup rankings in the sprint category. So this is really close.
Yes, it's gonna be indeed. It's gonna be a very battle semi-final. But that's the one we already saw that everything is so. In the sprint race, you can lose time very fast. So it's very exciting until the end.
Indeed. And before we introduce the second set of semi-finalists, people we are missing in the women's race, which we may have expected, include any of the other French women. No other French women qualified into the top 18, which was very surprising. That includes Celia Perrier-Pessé. And then, of course, Mariana Igorchikova, who we haven't seen for a couple of events. And they came second and first, respectively, in the 19 to 36. But here we are. We have the second set of women's semi-finalists coming out onto the start line. Marianne Faton of Switzerland, number 2. Off to the right of your screen there with the checkered sleeves, that is Tatiana Paller of Germany. Marta Garcia Fares of Spain. Number 13, lucky for some, Johanna Himmer of Austria. And also up there with them who I haven't seen, Ana Alonso Rodriguez and Eva Mate Jovicikova. Marta Garcia Fares of Spain, Johanna Himmer of Austria. Her best result has been 9th this year, as Marta Garcia has had a 7th. Marianne Faton, the woman to beat, current European champion, and has not been out of the top 3 in the sprint race this season yet. Tatiana Paller, a good start to the season with a 5th and 6th, less good with a 16th in Boitaoul. Ana Alonso Rodriguez, 2nd in Boitaoul, and Eva Mate Jovicikova of the Czech Republic, a fantastic 8th place for her in Boitaoul. And she is only 19. Another youngster there, Mireia.
Yes, it's incredible and to see these youngsters. And also in the men category, we will see a lot of youngsters here on the semi-finals.
And the interesting thing about Eva is that when the Youth World Cup was here last year, she was the winner. So she is the only Bormio sprint winner on the start line so far. Today we have one in the men's category, but there we go. That's a bit of kudos for her.
So far this year, Eva has been doing amazing races in the senior category, in the sprints that she has taken part of. And I'm willing to see what she brings today now in the semi-final.
Indeed, because she could still be competing in the under-20s category. And here she is, she stepped up. And here we go.
To the start, silence.
Thank you, Mark. Set.
The second of the semi-finals here in Bormio at the ISMF World Cup and Olympic test event is underway with a very fast start there from the young Czech athlete, with Marianne Faton right next to her.
Matejovicova, Repubblica Ceca, Paler, Germania, Iber, Austria e Garcia, Spagna.
Matejovicova and Faton in the lead there. Johanna Hiemer in the white helmet behind Marianne Faton. And I think, is it Marta Garcia in there behind her?
Yeah, exactly. Marta Garcia.
Simon sets with the girls, thanks to
What a
the
start from Eva. Let's see if she's able to keep this pace until the end of the sprint. It's difficult to maintain this high pace and high heart rate with the transitions that demand to be very clean, very precise. So let's see if she's able to maintain the effort during these 3 minutes that the sprint will last. But so far she's done an amazing start. A bit unpredictable. I wasn't expecting such a strong start from her.
Especially in that field, that is a great deal of experience around her right now.
Yes, side to side with Marianne Faton, European champion all this year in the sprint podiums, and just behind Ana Alonso, that on the last World Cup sprint she was second. So Eva is doing really a great job between all these big names around her.
Indeed. And this is where we sort of saw Caroline Ulrich, who had started on a slowish transition there for Eva Matejovicova, and Ana Alonso goes past her.
Here we see really the experience, and that these athletes are very veteran, because this is the transition is one of the most difficult things to manage on a sprint race, because they are in a such high heart rate, and the transitions you have to be clean and precise. That here is where we see most the difference between experience and veteran athletes in comparison with youth, that sometimes they do more mistakes.
Indeed. And Marianne Faton's last transition was just spectacularly fast, and she comes in there, puts her skis slightly across, and the way she goes out first with Ana Alonso in behind her. And it looks like Tatiana Paller is going to go into third, and Eva Matejovicova may need to work quite hard here to get back into that top three. So Marianne Faton, current European champion, alongside, just in front of Ana Alonso, both of them very good skiers. And Marianne Faton takes the second of the semi-finals ahead of Ana Alonso Rodriguez and Tatiana Paller. Johanna Hiemer of Austria, followed by Eva Matejovicova and Marta Garcia Fares. What a great race for the youngster, but as you say, just a little bit of experience still to gain.
Yeah, but good thing is she has time for that. I think that what she's doing this year is already amazing. She will learn a lot for this opportunity of racing with this in the senior category and with these great women. And this is only more experience to her backpack that will serve her a lot on the upcoming races and upcoming seasons.
Indeed. But as you say, a great start from her. And see, Tatiana Paller started quite far back there and just made her way through the field slowly and steadily, didn't she?
Yes, some athletes don't have this super fast start, but they can maintain a very strong pace all the way, and they gain a step-by-step some positions, as Tatiana Paller here, doing good transitions, keeping a maintained pace. And now, for Tatiana, it was a really good strategy.
Absolutely. Well, she has plenty of experience in endurance, former German track cyclist. Now, ski mountaineer. No Sprint World Cup podium for her yet, but always very consistent, mostly very consistent. And so be interesting to see how she fares here. But that's it, the women are done for their semi-finals, and we have still to come the men's semi-finals, both of them, with As we said earlier, we alluded to earlier, some domination by a couple of nations, but it has been a great start to this test event here in Bormio. So what is very exciting before we start, here are the men coming up to the thing, just to know that there were 186 athletes started in qualifying this morning, which is a huge number and just shows the pool of this, the Olympic gold, as we have a look here at the men in the first of the semi-finals. But we had 83 women and 103 men. Could you have imagined, Mireia, in your time, having 83 women on the start line?
Wow, 83 women, that's really a lot. It's a lot, and it's incredible how the sport is growing in these numbers. All this season has had a very high participation rate, and it's just amazing to see how the sport is growing in these Olympic disciplines.
Indeed, only 20 fewer women than men, which is really fantastic to see. But yes, lots of nations, 27 nations represented today here in Bormio, and it will be interesting to hear in the weeks and months to come how they found the new structure, the new way of doing it. But of course it won't be like that at the actual Olympics in a year's time. They will just be 18 of them, 18 men and 18 women, and they will be on the start line according to their World Cup status or their standing, and going straight to the heats. But we're past that. We're not there yet. We're not in 2026. We are here at the test event, and we have the men's semi-finals, the very first of those coming up here on the start line. Number 17, Thomas Bussard, Switzerland. Florian Sautel of France, who is a canyoning guide when he is not a ski mountaineer. There we have, oh, who was that? Ott Ferrer. Yes, my apologies. Still wearing that knee brace, I see, from the last time. Number 6, John Kissler. Oriol Cardona-Coll, he'll be the one to beat in this particular semi-final. And number 33, Marc Radua-Iverne. Now, Oriol Cardona-Coll and Florian Sautel are by far and away the old gentlemen of this race, and the rest are all some youngsters there, Mireia.
Yes. Here we see something incredible, that they are all 20, 21, 22. Not Oriol and Florian, they are more veteran, but it's a very young semi-final.
Indeed. Thomas Bussard was the winner of the relay in Boitaoul with Caroline Ulrich, so he's had a top step of the podium this season. Oriol Cardona-Coll has had a couple as well, and Ott Ferrer had his first senior podium in Azerbaijan in January.
Ott Ferrer has also been on all the sprint finals this year. Let's see if he can qualify also for this one. Let's see, but until the date he has been able to qualify for all the finals.
So we have a rather large Swiss and Spanish contingent on both throughout the finals, semi-finals, I beg your pardon. This one only broken up by the Frenchman, Florian Sautel.
12 seconds to the start. Silence, please.
Time to see what's going to happen.
Thank you, Mark. Set.
And they're off. The first of the men's semi-finals here in Bormio, and wow, how fast was that, Mireia?
Very fast. It's they surprise me each time. So when I think they cannot go faster, they do a faster start. It was very, very fast. John Kisler took the lead from the very beginning, going now on the right and Oriol Cardona on the left. So it was a very strong start for all of them.
Indeed. John Kisler just holding the lead there, I think, with Ott Ferrer and Oriol Cardona Call behind him.
John Kisler, that he's doing an amazing season too. He's very young. They are all very young in this heat, but he's doing also an amazing, amazing season.
Sì, ma non so se hai notato la velocità con cui sono partiti, della serie fuoco alle polveri. È stato veramente una
John Kisler has been twice junior world mixed relay champion, or once mixed relay and once the old format relay. Twice a junior world champion, so he's not a stranger to the pressures of a big event. But of course it is an entirely different matter when you've got these two Spanish athletes hunting you down.
Yes, and the three of them did an amazing transition to put the skis in the backpack very, very fast. And here the transitions will be key because all of them are going very, very strong.
John
And it's Ott
Kisler.
Ferrer in
Oh,
first.
sorry, beg your pardon, Ott Ferrer indeed. Ott Ferrer always making it look a little bit more like hard work. He's got that big gritted teeth face. But we should not be fooled.
Allora, tratto di discesa iniziato per loro, vedremo naturalmente chi andrà a solcare per primo qui sulla linea del
As the three of them head down here. Very smooth. Oriol Cardona Call out. No, yes, Oriol Cardona Call takes the win ahead of his compatriot Ott Ferrer Martinez, and John Kisler, the young Swiss athlete, goes into third. Another fabulous example of the youth there, showing us what they can do.
The three of them were very close, and the transitions were key in this race to define the positions. Ott went first on the putting skis on, and then Oriol exit first on taking skis off.
And we know that Oriol is particularly strong on the stairs, but it looked like he had a bit of competition there. But you can see him coming roaring through the field there on the steps.
Ma che partenza, Cristine, sono stati davvero dei fulmini in partenza, hanno scatenato davvero tutti i cavalli.
It's quite a short finish there, isn't it? They all seem to be coming absolutely tanking in.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I didn't realize it. I was thinking that the downhill looks so beautiful. They have worked really well the slope. They have super beautiful turns, and it has to be super exciting to be racing on this track.
Yeah, and it's going to be amazing because look at that. You can get public right up at close and personal because, of course, the Stelvio slope, they know about public. They know how to manage the downhill, which will, of course, be, they will be doing the alpine skiing a few days before the ski mountaineering. They're using the same slope. It will be a bit of a mission, certainly in a year's time, to turn it in from a alpine slope into a ski mountaineering slope. But I imagine they've got exactly what it takes to make sure that happens.
Yes, I'm sure they have a super strong team working behind. We can see this sprint track looks really beautiful. Really, when you see it, you see that they have put a lot of work into it. So I'm sure they will do an amazing work next year.
Indeed. So that is us. The men's semi-finals A has been, and we're absolutely ripping through this program. We've had 3 races. We've got 3 more to go. Second of the semi-finals for the men, followed by the 2 finals, of course. And look at that, we're just getting this great aerial view from the drone of this beautiful looking sprint course, which will of course also be part of the relay course tomorrow. And you can see bits of that there, but not talking about that yet. That's all ahead of us. We've got another semi-final coming up very shortly. But just while we're waiting, because here we see there's Arnaud Lieta of Switzerland, Thibaut Selmet of France, and is that Biel?
It's Biel,
Biel,
yes.
yes, indeed. Robin Bussard, and this is another Swiss and Spanish, mostly, semi-final. 1 Frenchman and the Belgian Maximilien Drian in there as well. And from what we can see, certainly in the men's, the Spanish, the Swiss, and to a lesser extent today, but overall the French seem to really be dominating this discipline at the moment.
Yes, indeed. All these nations have been doing a really great job from some years now, and we are seeing the results of years of work. It's not something that it just it comes from nowhere. It comes from a lot of years of work and focus also on these short disciplines as the sprint or the relay, and focusing a lot training camps and training on the athletes on these short disciplines.
Indeed, and here they come, the second of the men's semi-finals. Robin Bussard right in the middle there, number 3. Number 1, Arnaud Lieta in the yellow helmet for France, Thibaut Selmet. And that is Inigo Martinez, Del Bornos Marquez. My apologies, Mireia and Inigo, for my dreadful Spanish. But Thibaut Selmet of France, Arnaud Lieta, currently number 1 in the sprint ranking. Robin Bussard, so both the Bussard twins into the semi-finals. Thomas will not be going any further. Robin will be hoping to rectify that for the family name. Biel Pujol Paramon of Spain. And Maximilien Drian du Chapois of Belgium. Lives and trains in Switzerland. Very proudly represents Belgium. And has not perhaps had the start to the season he would have liked, but is an excellent all-round ski mountaineer, as are in fact many, in fact most of these athletes on the start line today. There we are. Well, Arnaud Lieta, I can tell you, has been on every single podium of the sprint since the beginning of the season this year. So he will be hoping not to stop that particular streak. Robin Bussard was second behind Oriol Cardona-Coll and in front of Arnaud Lieta in Boitaoul 3 weeks ago. In fact, all these men on the start line now were within the top 10 in Boitaoul.
30 seconds to the start, 30 secondi al via. Robin Bussard, 2 secondi posti a Chadag e a Boitaoul. Con Oriol Cardona 2 vittorie a Courchevel e a Boitaoul. 12 seconds to the start, silence please.
Thank you, Mark. Set.
The last of the semi-finals is underway here in Bormio. This is the men's second semi-final, and again very fast But who was that didn't quite make a fast start there?
I'm not sure. I think Inigo, but I would say Inigo usually does very fast starts, but I think that it's Inigo.
And we have Arno Lieta taking his usual spot at the front. Off to the right there, followed by Thibaut Anselme, who's making a very fast start. Now, this is not something we normally see, Mireia.
Exactly. Usually Thibaut, it's more slower start and strong finish, but here he has to start very fast from the very beginning.
But it is Robin Bussard up beside Arno Lieta with Biel Pujol and Thibaut Anselme. But Inigo Martinez is making up for that rather slow start, and it's all to play for. Look at this, they're all coming in almost together.
Yeah. It's super. They are all super close. Let's see everything. Transitions will be very important as they are all very close.
Inigo Martinez has made an amazing comeback from that slow start as he takes the lead ahead of Arno Lieta and Thomas Bussard. Thibaut Anselme perhaps, no, there he goes. I was going to say he was perhaps paying for that fast start, but not at all. Oh, and there he goes. Incredible. Thibaut Anselme ahead of Robin Bussard and Arno Lieta. Max Drian looks like he's in fourth. Wow, this has been very exciting.
Yes. The transitions have been key and are still key. So let's see the end of this sprint.
Arno Lieta takes the lead back ahead of Robin Bussard, and Thibaut Anselme drops into third. But you only have to be in that top three. 1, 2, 3, as away they go. Gosh, that was unbelievable switching and changing, all coming down to transitions and sheer force of strength to make up for some slow starts. Arno Lieta takes the win. Robin Bussard, Thibaut Anselme, Inigo Martinez, Max Drian and Biel Pujol. I don't think I've ever seen a finish so close with everybody all shushing in together at once.
Yes, me neither. And as you were saying, the finish it's quite short, and we saw Inigo just stop with the fences.
Yeah. Fantastic. So, well, talk us through this, Mireia. This was a great big mix of emotions.
Yes, it was a very packed sprint. I think I've never seen so close a sprint in the finish line of the 6 of them. And everything, so here the transitions were very key because in terms of physical strength, they were all very similar. So here, what we saw now on this transition that we will see putting the skis back again on the feet, it's where differences were made. This is where Thibaut went off the transition second, then here third, but the transition of putting the skis on the feet was the key of this sprint.
And there they all came in, the first 3 very close together, followed by the second 3. A win for Arno Lieta, ahead of Robin Bussard and Thibaut Anselme. They make it into the final. Gosh, it is all happening here in Bormio. It's the first ever ski mountaineering test event for the Olympics. And it's a really exciting thing, Mireia. It's been a long journey, hasn't it?
Wow. Very long, very long. I can tell you that in 2006, when I was starting ski mountaineering, it was already a talk about being on the Olympics. So it has been a very long journey.
Yeah, a lot of hard work by a lot of people. And the sprint and the mixed relay will be going to Bormio for Milano Cortina in 2026 in just under a year. As you can see, those ginormous numbers. I wonder whose job that is to change every day. How exciting. So, yes, and it has come to this, the test event for the very first time. In the, as you said earlier, Mireia, the course looks beautiful. The standard and the quality of the race courses and the way they're put together has really massively improved over the last few years, hasn't it? Not that they were bad before, but they're now just look absolutely beautiful.
Yes, exactly, exactly.
And here we can see that the semi-finals for the women are up. We are going to see in those semi-finals the two lucky losers, Alba Di Silvestro and I beg your pardon, yes, and the Tatiana Paller. Not the lucky losers. Going into the final, my apologies, Emily Harrop, Marianne Faton, Ana Alonso Rodriguez, Caroline Ulrich, Tatiana Paller and Alba de Silvestro as they head into the final, which will be happening in just under 5 minutes. This really is a very, very beautiful part of the world, as you can see there, and the semi-finals for the men over, and the finals are the final competitors: Oriol Cardona Coll, Arno Lieta, Ferrer Martinez, Robin Bussard, John Kissler and Thibaut Anselme. John Kissler obviously having a very fast third place there. And there they are. Marianne Faton, always with a smile on, every time.
Better to smile before what is coming.
There's no smiling during it, is there, Mireia?
Exactly.
So Marianne Faton, who is the current European champion and previous world champion in the sprint. Emily Harrop, though, coming to the line. There we have Ana Alonso, Caroline Ulrich, Tatiana Paller and Katia Mascherona. I beg your pardon, it is not Katia Mascherona at all, it's Alba Di Silvestro. My apologies, Alba. And how exciting to see her in a sprint final, especially how ill she's been and has not raced since Courchevel in December. Caroline Ulrich will be hoping for another sprint podium place after her second place in Boitaoul. Marianne Faton was third in Boitaoul. She's been in the top 3 every sprint race this season. Ana Alonso, a couple of not so great results. She would have hoped for better at the beginning of the season, but second in Boitaoul. Emily Harrop has a clean sweep this season and is leading the sprint ranking. And Tatiana Paller had a 5th and a 6th at the beginning of the season and then a 16th in Boitaoul. So already she is as good as her, she's certainly into her third final for the season. Some high quality racing ahead of us here, Mireia.
Very high quality racing. I mean, the women category is so open that we have seen many strong women during the season fighting for the podiums.
And I think the only person on that start line that has never had a sprint World Cup podium is Alba Di Silvestro. So she will be, I beg your pardon, neither has Tatiana Paller, but the other 4 have a few under their belts, that is for sure. To this point, to date, Emily Harrop has 22 World Cup wins across all the disciplines, not just in the sprint. She's the 3-time sprint winner, 3-time overall winner. This is going to be really, really exciting.
Thank you, Mark.
And that's it. The women's final for the first ever SkiMo test event for the Olympics is underway. It is the ISMF World Cup here in Bormio. It's number 5. And they're off. Marianne Faton has taken the lead. Emily Harrop coming through now to give Marianne Faton something to think about. A bit of a squash as they go through there. Caroline Ulrich and Anna Alonso. And behind them, Alba de Silvestro and Tatiana Paller at the back there. It's going to come down to those transitions again, isn't it, Maria?
Yes, it seems so. It seems so. They are all very together too. Marianne Faton, Emily Harrop, Anna Alonso, and Caroline Ulrich. There's a little bit of gap with starting to be a little bit of gap between Alba de Silvestro and Tatiana Paller. But the 4 of them, they are very, very close, and it will come to the transitions. I'm sure about it. We are seeing almost the 4 of them that will arrive at the same time, as it happened with the men just on the previous race. They will arrive on the same time to the skis in the backpack transition.
Emily Harrop so fast out of her skis there, followed by Marianne Faton and Caroline Ulrich with Anna Alonso in 4th. But wow, she came out those skis incredibly fast.
Yes, I think that Emily Harrop did the fastest transition. She's incredibly fast.
Look at that. Away she goes. Now, Emily Harrop, for all her amazing wins and so on, has never had an individual or a world championship or a European championship title on her own. She has it with Thibaut Sellemé in the mixed relay. But she has so much experience in this discipline. And it's neck and neck with the 3 following her. It's Anna Alonso and Caroline Ulrich battle for that 3rd spot. Marianne Faton just managing to stay in 2nd. And I think that might just be Anna Alonso has just overtaken Caroline Ulrich. Emily Harrop has a quick glance. She, of course, started as an alpine skier. Emily Harrop, Marianne Faton, Caroline Ulrich just pips Anna Alonso. Again, so close. The quality and experience amongst these 4 women is just incredible.
Yes, Anna Alonso and Caroline Ulrich that have passed each other 2 times. First, Anna Alonso's just exiting the transition on top, and then Caroline Ulrich passed her again in the downhill. It was just amazing to see, and I was thinking one is going to finish in the ground, but no, they all arrived here perfectly.
It wouldn't be the first time we've seen a drama in the downhill on those in those sort of situations. But yes, well skied by everybody, but especially those 2 for sure. Talk us through a little bit about this race, Mireia.
So we had a very strong start. Emily Harrop, Marianne Faton, Caroline Ulrich, and Anna Alonso fighting for these podium places. Emily Harrop that she does very, very clean and fast transitions. I think that right now on this race today she did the best transitions, the fastest. And then the battle was just behind her for the 2nd and 3rd place with Marianne Faton, Anna Alonso, and Caroline Ulrich. And what a downhill, what a descent from Anna Alonso and Caroline Ulrich. I hope we get to see it here again, because here we see Emily Harrop, Marianne Faton, and Anna Alonso passing Caroline Ulrich, and here we see Anna Alonso trying to pass Marianne Faton. She cannot pass her. She gets a bit slowed down, and then Caroline Ulrich passes her and does 3rd finally.
And Emily Harrop takes her 4th out of 4 sprint titles here in Bormio. That's 4 out of 4 this season. Wow, is she beatable at all, Mireia, as the two Swiss women, Marianne Faton and Caroline Ulrich, come in behind her. Emily Harrop is just on fire.
Yeah, she's on fire, but today it was close. I mean, we've seen her winning with more gap than today. Today it was really close. So I think that today we saw an Emily Harrop that can be beaten by those ladies behind her, by Marianne Faton, Caroline Ulrich, and Alonso, Tatiana Paller, or Alba de Silvestro.
That's fighting talk there, Mireia. Yes, but she maintains her clean sweep, and a very, very exciting race indeed. One more to go. We've got the men coming up very shortly, in about 5 or so minutes. But for the moment, it is Emily Harrop who takes her 4th sprint win of the season, followed by Marianne Faton in her 3rd top 3 place, her 4th top 3 place, 2 second places and a 3rd she's had this season, and Caroline Ulrich, who didn't race in Azerbaijan and was studying for exams and has just had 2 top 3 places in a row. Fantastic racing there, and as you say, brilliant racing from Ana Alonso Rodriguez, just not to be against such strong competition in the end. Podium ceremony, Caroline Ulrich takes 3rd. And Marianne Faton, there's that smile again. Not surprising this now. Takes 2nd place. Emily Harrop takes her 4th win of the season out of 4 for France. The only French woman to make it into the top 18, and she has gone straight to the top of the tree. So there we have just so much experience. I mean, a youth Olympic champion, an overall 3-time overall ISMF World Cup winner, current European champion, former world champion. That's a big, punchy podium there.
Indeed, indeed. They all have a lot of experience, and we see it when they race, the experience they have.
Indeed, indeed. So one of the things we haven't talked about is, while we're waiting for the men's final, I mean, this is such a hotbed, or a breeding ground, for want of a better expression, of Italian ski mountaineering athletes, isn't it, Mireia? I mean, some of the best in the world come from around here.
Yes, totally. It's a place with a lot of tradition. Back in 2006, when I started competing, we already had some World Cups happening there, and it has a lot of tradition of ski mountaineering, of athletes in ski mountaineering. Long tradition.
And last night they had the opening
Emily
ceremony.
Harrop, another great victory here in Bormio, Italy, for the test event, with the focus on the next year, the Olympic Winter Games.
Oh yeah, I couldn't be happier today. I mean, I feel like I've been saying this a lot, but I feel really lucky this year to be on good form. And here to test out the Bormio Olympic venue was a real treat and was really exciting. We now have the course in mind and we know how to train for it. It was a long day, there was a lot of waiting, so it was an interesting one for us, and I'm glad to have gotten to the end of it with a win.
So congratulations. Now the focus will go to the World Championship in Morges in a few days.
Yeah, of course. So it's really boosting, the confidence for the next big stop in Morges. But first we've got the relay tomorrow, which is going to be another exciting event, and then we'll rest up and get ready for Morges.
Thank you very much. You are the best.
Thank you, Christy.
Emily Harrop there, getting quite experienced at chatting to Christine Cavagnier. They having a little chat And interesting what she said there, that now they've seen the course, they've got it in their minds, and if they're lucky enough to be chosen for a place next year, they know what to train for.
Yes, and one curiosity here is that it's a very fast sprint. We are seeing men winning in 2 minutes 30 and women winning in 3 minutes, so it's very fast. And it's very good that they've been able to do this test event and see the track.
Indeed. And we were just briefly talking about the local athletes to here, and it was great to see Alba Silvestro. She lives not very far away at all in Albasaja. She's not local to here, but she does live around these parts. But what I was going to say earlier was that in the opening ceremony last night was so lovely because Robert Antonioli was asked to light the Olympic cauldron, and he surely is the most deserving of that particular honour.
Yes, Robert Antonioli is a big name in this sport, in ski mountaineering. He's from there, and he has contributed so much to this sport as an athlete, and I'm sure that it was a very beautiful moment to see him yesterday.
He managed to do it with his son sitting on his shoulders, so it was very lovely to see that too. So the women are finished. The test event for the women is over. As Emily Harrop said, it's been a very long day for them. They started qualifying at 9 o'clock this morning. This is a very unusual situation that will not be happening again. They just wanted to do the final 18 as it will be, because in the actual Olympic event there will be 18 men and 18 women selected throughout this season and the beginning of next season to represent their countries, and they will be 18 of each of them on the start line, and so it was just the opportunity to see how that would work. However, moving on from the women, here are the big guns in the men's category as they take to the start line for the final time today. I think this is going to be very, very hard to call. There is some amazing talent out there. John Kissler of Switzerland, young but with so much experience. Robin Bussard, again, with an incredible list of accolades to his name. Ott Ferrer Martinez, with his first podium this season. Arno Lieta, who won the sprint in the World Championship in his first year as an under-23. Oriol Cardona Coll, current world and European champion, and Thibaut Anselmet, who, quite frankly, there's not much he hasn't won in the last few years. And a mix there, Mireia, of sort of 3 slightly older athletes and 3 quite young male athletes.
Yes, but none of them unfamiliar to being on a sprint final in senior category. We have seen John Kissler, Ott Ferrer give a step forward this year, Robin Bussard already last year, and all of them have been in different sprint finals in senior categories, and also for the 3 youth, Ott Ferrer, John Kissler and Robin Bussard, they have also incredible results on the youth categories with many World Cup podiums and World Cup wins and European championships and World Championships. So there's no one strange to this kind of situations of being on a sprint final.
Not at all, and in fact Robin Bussard has stood on the start line for the Youth Olympics and was the Youth Olympic champion in the team race with his twin and with Caroline Uriach and Thibaut Dessin.
Seconds to the start, silence please.
Thank you, Mark. Set.
The last race of the day is underway, and it is the men's final here. And Mireia, it was such an exciting couple of semi-finals. Let's see what's going to happen here. Look at this, they're nearly all together again.
Yes, it's going to be quite exciting, I think, because they are very close again. Robin Bussard a little bit far behind, but he's also there. We will see now in the diamonds that they are all very, very close, and Robin Bussard just catching up with the group again.
Yeah, that must have cost him quite a bit of energy there to go from a little bit further back. Not quite sure what happened there at the start, but he has caught them up, and they are just neck and neck. It is John Kissler, though, just ahead of Arno Lieta. And Ott Ferrer, Oriol Cardona-Coll, with Robin Bussard and Thibaut Selmet.
John Kissler that is opening a bit of a gap, and incredible.
John Kissler ahead of Oriol Cardona-Coll and Ott Ferrer Martinez, Arno Lieta, Robin Bussard and Thibaut Selmet. But that's what we expect to see in the steps. Oriol Cardona-Coll absolutely thundering up there. Such athleticism as he goes into the lead ahead of John Kissler, but the young Swiss athlete sticking right with him. Oriol Cardona takes off ahead of John Kissler despite having almost a slight fumble with one of his poles. And a big gap here, Mireia. I wonder what happened there. We didn't quite see what happened after that bit of transition.
Yes, we saw Thibaut Selmet falling when arriving to the transition, so I don't know what has happened, but there's a little bit of gap between the second and the others.
Oriol Cardona-Coll takes another win in this World Cup event. I'm sorry, I've just got quite John Kissler, I would like to say I think this might be his first sprint podium. In second, ahead of Arno Lieta. The two Spaniards there. Oriol Cardona-Coll being congratulated by Ott Ferrer. Robin Bussard comes in fifth and Thibaut Selmet in sixth.
What a race they have done, Oriol Cardona. We see the experience he has. He has managed so well the race to be able to finish first, because they were also very packed, and he did an amazing foot part, really fast transitions. The two last transitions from Oriol were super good transitions and fast transitions, and this gave him the victory again.
So yeah, slow start there for Thomas Bussard, but managed to catch up, as we said. John Kissler really powering ahead there, but nobody stands much of a chance against Oriol Cardona-Coll in the steps. So strong.
Yes, very, very strong. He's very, very fast, and here we see Thibaut Selmet falling, so and here it's the last transition that Oriol also did really fast to get outside the transition first and started downhill on first. That it's a really great advantage for the win.
Yeah, and those the first two athletes, Cardona-Coll and Kissler, were almost gone from transition by the time Arno Lieta was starting to take his skis off. There seemed to be this huge gap built up between the top of the steps and the second, between the last transition. But Oriol Cardona takes the win ahead of John Kissler, Arno Lieta in third for Switzerland, Ott Ferrer-Martinez of Spain in fourth, Robin Bussard and Thibaut Anselmet make up the top 6 in that very last final. And as I say, I believe that is John Kissler's first sprint podium. That's very exciting, in a senior category. He is not his first ever podium. He was fourth in the sprint in Courchevel, so it was only a matter of time before he made it onto that podium. Congratulations to him. But Oriol Cardona-Col, despite a slightly less than ideal result in Azerbaijan, has had a cracking sprint season thus far. Arno Lieta in the top 3 every single event this year, sprint event. John Kissler, the 21-year-old from Zurich.
First place, the winner in Bormio for the test event. Vincitore del test event qui a Bormio. Primo classificato, Spagna, Oriol Cardona.
Oriol Cardona-Col of Spain, from Banyoles. Second generation Spanish athlete for the Spanish team. Takes the win here at the test event in Bormio. His third win in the sprint this season. I have to say, Mireia, the men's racing was so close. I mean, the women's too, but really seeing those men just sort of firing in after each other, that has been fantastic to see.
Yes, we have had a lot of change of position. Sometimes the sprint, we see the first starting first and ending first, and here we've seen a lot of position changing.
Yeah, really, the quality and the sort of fitness has really been something to behold. So there we are, Mireia, our first ever Olympic test event. How very exciting.
Oriol Cardona winning here at the test event in Bormio, third victory in the season for you in a sprint race, and not forgetting that you are the defending champion of the World Championships.
Yeah, today it's been crazy. The race, it was super, the track, it was perfect, and the crowd here cheering us, it's amazing.
Spanish team is increasing race after race. You are a big group of good athletes, and this is very good to cheer once to the others during the race.
Yeah, that's good to have a strong team. I wish the youngs can wait for one more year. No, but they are pushing hard. That's fine for all the group. I think we are improving a lot, and we have a strong team. And yeah, we try to fight for the Olympics next year.
Congratulations, Oriol.
Thank you very much.
Oriol Cardona-Col at his grand old age of 30 there, Mireia, feeling the pressure from the youth for next year's qualification process.
Exactly, they come very strong, this youth.
Yeah, well, I think he's probably got a chance. It feels to me like he's not losing anything at the moment. And here we have the World Cup ranking in the sprint race. Emily Harrop hangs on to that. Marianne Faton not far behind her. And then Anna Alonso, Tatiana Paller, Celia Perret-Pessé, and Leda Bonnell, who we did not see racing today, Marta Garcia Fares and Caroline Ulrich in the top 8. In the men, Arno Lieta, despite not winning today, just ahead of Oriol Cardona-Col there by 1 point. Robin Bussard and Ott Ferrer-Martinez behind him. John Kissler will have added significantly to his tally there. Thibaut Anselmet in 6th. Inigo Martinez, Pablo Giner, Biel Pujol and Max Drian make up the top 10. It's very close at the top there for the men though.
Yes, they are very, very close. I mean, very close. It can change a lot from now until the end of the season.
And these two, not entirely strangers to fighting for the sprint title. That's been many, many years that has often been the case. So we are coming to the end of this first ever ski mountaineering test event, and we're wrapping up an incredible, if somewhat long day of sprint racing here in Bormio in Italy, and that's our preview into what will be happening a year from now, and it was really, really exciting. Thank you so much, Mireia. The ISMF World Cup 2025 will continue tomorrow. We'll be back with the mixed relay test event, but for now, thank you and goodbye from Bormio.
Thank you everyone that has been with us, and see you tomorrow.